Let's go to the Pauline Hanson now, the One Nation founder and leader. She joins me from Scenic Rim in Queensland. Pauline, I'll get your broader thoughts on this Defence Strategic Review in a moment, but honestly, climate change as a strategic threat, that's not defending the nation. That's running green left propaganda through a strategic review.
Totally agree with you, Chris, and everything that you said. Is China listening to, or in their policies, when they increase their defence personnel or the ships that they're making or their Air Force and everything, are they putting in about climate change? It is absolutely ridiculous. You know, I've done 5 of these parliamentary programs, and to think that they're going to run it through, you know, renewable energies, what a joke. It's not going to happen. Our defence is most important priority, number 1. You know, Chris, the stupid part about it is the Labor Party have now agreed with the nuclear subs. But they're not looking at nuclear subs for power in the country, for our industries, manufacturing and general households. Why? Why is it all right on one hand to have nuclear for our subs, for our defence, but not for general use? I don't get it.
It does my head in. China is taking our coal, using it to power its factories and make steel to fabricate missiles and aircraft and vessels that could be used against us, and yet we're trying to make our defence forces carbon neutral. It is literally insane. Broadly, though, on this Defence Strategic Review, would you be encouraged that Labor seems to be going with this idea that we need more missiles, we need to boost our defence forces, we need to have more defences, particularly at the northern end of our country?
Yep. You bet I am very supportive of that, and I think it's great. But I hope it's just not all smoke and mirrors and all talk and no action. But the money has to back it up as well. And Chris, another big thing that I found out, you know, when I started doing these programs, it is the retention of the personnel that are leaving the Defence Forces, and the expertise is required as well. They put these personnel through a lot of the training. They become very qualified, but they don't stay with the defence. But there's a lot, because of a lot of the new technologies that is actually happening, they can't seem to find the right people with the intelligence or the abilities to actually drive it. So that's a big problem that they have, is retention and also finding the right people.
Train up people and then they'll lose them to the private sector. On this spend, though, a lot more money needs to go into defence. This is at a time when government needs to be cutting back spending to cut inflation, and we've got these huge cost of living pressures. Finally, on the weekend, the Coalition was talking about Labor's $100 billion of additional spending and the like. I mean, we've got to see a really hot focus on cost of living and budgetary issues, don't we, instead of all this talk about other issues.
Chris, yes, we do, but it's very important. There's too much talk about what could happen in the region in the later half of this decade, especially with China, and if they do go to war with Taiwan, and we are going to be involved in that. And, you know, we can't defend ourselves, and I think that's most important, to look at that. We must be able to defend our country and our nation and make sure that we are not taken over by any other country. Now, the budget is going to reflect where we're headed for the future. There's no long-term vision in this country. I'm sick and tired of governments, not only Labor, but previous governments, that just waste money and the spending that's not required, or they don't rein in areas where it needs to be reined in. NDIS, I've been speaking about that for years. You know, you have to look at the welfare as well, Chris. You can't put people on long-term welfare and you've got 4th generations that are on welfare. That's not good enough in a country like this. We've got to boost productivity. You've got to stop putting fees and charges on businesses and industries and manufacturing. We've got to start productivity and boosting our own industries.
We will keep going.
Where it all comes from.
Yeah, we will keep going with that conversation, but very quickly before I let you go, I want to talk about, in the light of Barry Humphrey's passing, the death of comedy, the way political correctness is killing comedy. You are one of the few politicians still using comedy. Here's your latest cartoon.
Oh, look, it's my best friend Adam Baird. No, he's infected. With what? The woke mind virus. Feminism is transphobic. End all coal and gas now. Renewables, renewables.
Yeah, Pauline, I don't know that the woke virus is a joke. I think it's rampant. But just very briefly, do you believe that political correctness is killing comedy?
Yes, I do. Most definitely. I'm a 60s, 70s child, and you know, the scene passing Barry Humphries, I feel a part of my life has died with him as well. The part where we could have a thought process, we could have a laugh at ourselves. We haven't become so precious and offended so easily. It's a shame. You know, the younger generation have no idea what they've missed out on.
Exactly.
The passing of Barry Humphries, you know, is a big loss.
Yeah, he was not only brilliant, he was courageous. Thanks so much for joining us, Pauline. Appreciate it. Pauline Hanson there.